Hello, this is Connie, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm so glad. Think about hitting that subscribe button and become part of the family. I sure would love to have you stick around. And if you are returning subscriber, welcome back. Today I'm taking part in the First Friday challenge. I am one of the guest co-hosts this month. So let's get right into it. I love working with wood. I love building all kinds of things. I build furniture. I build wall hangings. I build shelves. I build all kinds of things. Okay, so today I am trying to organize. I've been trying to organize my craft room, but my chalk paint just sits on shelves. So I bought those little 3-tier racks from the Dollar Tree. The problem is they just slide off and I can't get very much on there. So I am making myself a tiered shelf. So I went to the Sutherland's, which is like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and I got two 1x3s. And I am cutting 5 of them at like 35 inches, I think it was. And then I'm going to use, 2x4 scraps for the braces for the tiers. No, it's not the exact thing that I wanted to do. I was going to use 1x3s, but I ended up not having enough, and so that's why I used the 2x4s, but it ended up being much better and much more stable. So as you can see, I am measuring them out, going over to my miter saw, cutting them, then I use my orbital sander and I sand them so they're nice and smooth. And that's what I am doing. I'm just getting all these pieces of wood ready, and then I'm going to screw them together. The screws I use is like a star tip. I don't use Phillips and I don't use flathead. Flatheads just there's not enough strength in them. Phillips, you can rip out the screw way too easy. The star is much better. It does not strip. I've never stripped one, so that's what I prefer to use. Now, I was going to use my pocket hole jig, and it wasn't quite the right product. So, my next project, I will use that when I build my new bench. My other bench, just like the one I just built. And you can go back on my videos and you can find that bench. It's a farmhouse bench. So here I am, I'm just laying it out, and I keep trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. My process, a lot of times I will write out a diagram, write out all my cut list, and then I end up changing it. So the long pieces was the right pieces, and then the 2 braces on the sides, I cut those. But then I started working on the steps, and like I said, I do not end up having a finished picture of it without all the paint on it. I put it all on there and realized that I forgot to take a picture, and I didn't want to take them back down. They look so beautiful. So I just took off one row, and you'll be able to see where it is. It's a step stool, or step little thing. Now, I could have brought it out a little bit further and put another step on top of it, but I ended up just leaving it the way it was, and it turned out looking just perfect. So, I'm just going to let you sit here and watch this process. And here I am just working away. I lost the footage of me finishing the project, but you'll see the end result here in just a moment after I'm getting some of them of the layers on, but here is the result. You can see it steps up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and then all the paint fits on there. Okay, let's get to this. This is the first Friday, and this month is themed wood, and the host is Lisa from Our Gray House, and the guest host is myself and Mom from Momdas, and I can't wait to just have you dive into seeing all these different creators. They're amazing. The links of our channels will be down in my description box, as well as the playlist. Now let's get back to my second and final project. Okay, I took this round sign from the Dollar Tree and it had some glitter on it. I sometimes pull all that paper off, but I didn't want to this day, so I just used Mod Podge over all the glitter and it seals it so it doesn't flake. And I pushed it aside to let it dry, and I grabbed this rabbit from Woodpecker Crafts, and I am going to Mod Podge that tissue paper from the Dollar Tree on it, but I wanted it to be painted, so I grabbed my Waverly chalk paint in Snow White, and I completely paint the whole rabbit on the front and the edges, and then I sat it aside to dry, and then I grabbed that round again, flipped it over, and I am put some painter's tape. It's not down the center, but it's where I want it. So I wrapped the tape around it, and I'm using agave chalk paint, and I end up putting 2 coats on the bigger side of this round. And once that is done, I'm going to pull that tape off, and then once it's dry, I'll come back to that. But now the rabbit is done, so we're using Mod Podge, and I'm completely covering the whole rabbit, and then I'm going to grab that tissue paper and put it down. So and I always, even though I make sure I get lots of Mod Podge, it seems like as soon as I put down the tissue paper, some of it's drying. Now I know I could use an iron on it and reactivate it, but I don't. So what I do is just lift it up and put more Mod Podge underneath it. I'm really careful when I smooth it so it doesn't get, so that it goes on there and it's not, so it's all secure. And then once that's dried, then I go over the top of it and sit it aside. And then when I come back, I am cutting away some of this tissue paper, because I'm going to take a nail file, and I will file the edges down, which will cut it perfectly. And I'll come back to doing that as soon as I work on that round again, because I want this to completely dry before I start putting a file on it. So that I'm going to grab this, I'm going to put painter's tape back on there, and then I'm going to paint that smaller side in the Snow White, and I end up putting 2 coats on there as well, so that and I do the edges on both. Okay, now I'm going to grab that file and I just pull downwards on the edge, and what that does is it cuts the tissue paper perfectly. And then we'll see what I do next. Okay, now that I'm finishing that up, I take that tape off and I sit that aside so it can finish drying. I'm going to make this cute little bow. I've got burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I've got this lacy ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and then I've got the same color and white check from Sam's Club, and I'm just making a simple little bow, 2 loops each on each side, and then the check I put one smaller one in the center to hide the twist tie or the Chanel stem or pipe cleaner, whichever you want to call it, and I'm using a white to do that. So I'm just putting this all together. I put the top or the main blue burlap and the netty white, and then I did the buffalo, and I'm going to add it together. Then we're going to set it aside because then we have got to put the rabbit on this round, so I know exactly where to put this bow. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I grabbed some burlap, made a loop, and I'm gluing that on the back of this round. Now this round had a bow in it, so I am going to use a handle of a wood spoon, and I'm going to glue it with wood glue as well as hot glue on the back to straighten it out. And I used a little bit of that ribbon over the burlap so that it would seal it better. And then once that's done, I'm going to turn it over and start adding everything on the front of this round. Okay, now that's done, I'm grabbing this bunny, and I'm going to glue this right on this round, and then I am holding it down to make sure that it sticks. Part of it's still lifting, so I go ahead and put some more glue around the edges, and then I'm going to glue that bow on right over the hole of the round, kind of off to the side a little bit. Once it's glued on there good and tight, I'm going to puff each loop up, and I didn't make tails because I didn't think it would look right. Now I'm using rose blush chalk paint in pink. I'm using a small paintbrush, and I am painting the word hello and then spring, and then I figure out that this needs a little bit more embellishments on it. Now I forgot to turn on my camera, and so I did not capture the last of it, but I do show it to you, so you'll be able to see what this ends up looking like. And I really hope you guys enjoy this one especially. It is super cute, and the other one is very functional, but they're both made out of wood. So I hope you guys like this. Like I said before, don't forget to go down to the playlist, watch all the creators, as well as check out the host channels, and yeah, let's just watch this. And here is the final project. I went ahead and did white on the word spring, and then I used a black paint marker and went around them, and then I used white paint and made stitch marks all around the agave, and I took the agave and I did the stitch marks all around the white. And like I said, I hope you guys really enjoy this because I sure did. I think it's so cute. And here is the final reveal. This is the round, and then this is the paint, and you can see the steps and how much it has on it. And now here is a picture that you will see all of my chalk paint. Plus I still have a little bit of extra room so I can add some more. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I can try and put the instructions down in the description box. Okay, you guys have the most blessed week. Don't forget to call somebody and tell them you love them. Mentally, they may need that for sure. And don't forget to be the Bible somebody reads today. Bye.